Hello and welcome back to another edition of Phil's Monday Movie Review. I'm very glad to be here, and I'm glad that you are here. And my recommendation for this week is RRR. And just a quick heads up, apologies ahead of time if I mispronounce any names. Unfortunately, I am notorious for doing that, so I'm sorry ahead of time. Released this year in 2022 and directed by S.S. Rajamouli, RRR, which is abbreviated for Rise, Roar, Revolt, is a Tollywood epic action drama starring Ram Charan and N.T. Rama Rao Jr. And since this film was released this year, I will refrain from spoilers because this is a film that I would love for you to see with very little information, if you haven't seen it yet, of course. However, the purpose of this video is to pretty much just praise the hell out of this film. As you can already tell, I really love this movie already. But to give you a brief synopsis of what this film is all about, RRR is set in the 1920s in British-ruled India, or also known as British Raj, or the British Empire in India. And this is where a British governor, an evil British governor, and his his insane, crazy-ass wife abduct a little local girl from her own village. And this pisses off the tribe's guardian, who is known as Beam, and he sets off on a journey to infiltrate Delhi in order to rescue the little girl and bring her back to their own village. Also, at the same time, we are introduced to another main character of this film, Raju, who is an ambitious officer of the Indian Imperial Police. And due to certain circumstances that I'm not going to mention, our two main players of RRR, Raju and Beam, meet for the first time, and the two of them form what I think is the ultimate friendship a bro like me could ever ask for. There's even this montage of them being the best friends, and we, the audience, get so invested in seeing these two dudes become the ultimate friends. And I think this is where I will end the synopsis. I'm going to stop talking about the story, and I'm going to switch over to talk about why this movie rules. I mentioned earlier that RRR stands for Rise, Roar, Revolt, but RRR also stands for the star power behind this film. Rajamouli, Ram, and Rama Rao Jr. are Tollywood's beloved triple threat and are actually the biggest names in Tollywood cinema. Aside from the fact that RRR is the most expensive film to come out of India, fans of Tollywood cinema have patiently been waiting to see the biggest names in Tollywood to star in a movie together, while also at the same time being directed by Tollywood's most influential filmmaker of all time. Think of it as Christopher Nolan making a movie starring Tom Cruise and Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, or something like that. This movie has a lot of incredible and insane action sequences, but also it maintains a very anti-imperialistic spirit. RRR does a great job in making the British imperialists look like horrible and vile people, especially these two. Like, who the hell just carries a spiked whip like that in their purse? Let me just say this right now. This woman is crazy. And by the way, that is actress Alison Doody. She played the evil Nazi woman in Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. So she does a great job in portraying evil and horrible people. Look, I'm not going to pretend that I have seen every Tollywood and Bollywood film, because I really haven't. So RRR really caught me off guard when I spectated these over-the-top action sequences, elaborate drama, beautiful visuals, and very, very catchy music. And you know what? Let me just talk for a second about the music. RRR features an amazing soundtrack. I've seen this movie twice, and I enjoy listening to the soundtrack a lot. I joyfully listen to Natu Natu while I go on a hike, when I'm stuck in traffic in my car. Also, speaking of Natu Natu, the movie features this incredible dance sequence where our two heroes perform at a ballroom, and if you've seen the movie, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. But back to the film. I don't love RRR because I'm trying to be this funny guy and say that this movie presents something different than the blockbusters we see here in America. No, I love RRR because it is a relentlessly joyful film to watch from start to finish. And I've watched it by myself and I've watched it with friends, and both times I gotta say I found myself get pulled in by the story and by the characters, and I've managed to embrace the energy the film leaves me with. Also, I gotta applaud SS Rajamouli for making this interpretation of India's fight for freedom. He had a message to say, and at the same time, he crafted this massive film with out of this world fight sequences and dance numbers that I gotta say are way better than any Western musical or modern action film of recent memory. The melodrama is also intense and it will get you invested right off the bat. RRR is a 3 hour film and it doesn't even feel like it. To me, it's a film that I have no problem watching again and again and again, and it's one of my favorite movies to come out this year. I guess what I'm trying to say is that RRR is simply and unapologetically cinema. But that is it for Phil's Monday movie review, and I want to thank you for tuning in. Have you seen RRR? And if you have, what did you think? Let's discuss. Also, be sure to tune in next Monday where we talk about another movie. But until then, take care. Thanks for stopping by, and I'll catch you next time. Peace.